Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Of course, in a little while, we'll be having my good friend, Amanda Griffin-Jacob. Let me know if you guys are here. Let's just wait a few minutes. Maybe I'll read some comments. Ooh, watching from Doha. Hello, Achel. Yes, Warley. Hope to see Angel. Yes, I plan to have all three F girls with me at some point. PJ says, hi, Amanda. Therese, finally. Okay, so allow me to give a little formal introduction to Amanda Griffin. Before I call her in, let me show you what I prepared. Amanda Griffin-Jacob is no stranger to us. Since her teens and 20s, she's been in the public eye as a model and TV host in Asia. She was a regional VJ for Channel V, and as most of my viewers here know, Amanda was our co-host in F at ABS-CBN and Studio 23 after Cher Calvin left for the US. She was a natural entrepreneur, having dabbled in retail with her swimwear boutique, Taboo, published a coffee table book, and became part owner of an events company. Amanda's achievements from the past decades paved the way for the greatest achievement of her life, that of being a wife to the love of her life, David, and mother to 4 beautiful children. Amanda continues to live her daily life as a mother, wife, entrepreneur, and advocate with the same focus and commitment she's always had in the past, managing to create byproducts and projects that emanate from her personal passions. She's written a book on motherhood, runs a website focused on wellness and a holistic life, has a community page on modern motherhood, has ran a full 42K marathon in Paris, and is continuing to juggle her roles in the best way she can, looking as gorgeous and beautiful inside and out. How does she do it all? Join me on this 1-hour chat with my good friend, Amanda. Okay. Now, I wonder if Amanda could actually see this backstage, but let me call her in now.
Hi, Daphne.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for that wonderful OBB that you created. I felt like I was back in one of our F episodes.
I know. Can you imagine I did all that? I mean, before we didn't just show up.
I know we would, but you are so multi-talented. It's no surprise to me that you can do everything and anything.
No. I was just, quarantine brings out a lot of new hidden talents.
Yeah, I know. It's time to hone some new things, right? But
Right.
You're such an old hat at all of this production, and it's in your blood.
Well, but it's a different platform, and we're all sort of navigating through this wonderful world of the internet and hopefully try to harness more of the positive side to it. And I know you've been doing that. But before we get there, how are things with you? How are things? You're in Singapore.
I'm in Singapore right now, yes. Things are actually okay. I was just telling you before that my kids are actually going to school. And I know that in a lot of countries, they're doing online learning. But we're very lucky here that our kids can go to school. So we're thankful for that. And I have my little one at home because I have 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. So our numbers here are the community transmission is down. So we're hoping it stays that way.
So the whole time, did you feel like there was a crisis at all, or has it? I mean, it's just been so ideal for us to be seeing like Singapore doing so well.
Yes, no, it felt like a crisis actually way before you guys felt it. I remember traveling back and forth to Manila in January and February, and we were already sort of in the throes of having the numbers going up, and it was scary to see that, because no one knew anything about it at that time. And I remember, in Manila, nothing was happening. So by the time your lockdown came, we actually got locked down after you guys, but we had more of a handle on sort of how to live with it, if you will, because the government was very on it about being strict about all their precautionary measures, which has gotten stricter and stricter as it's gone on.
Right. But I remember seeing, because we were totally locked down, and I remember seeing you jogging. So
Yes.
you guys were not really completely on.
No, so we were allowed, we were allowed to exercise, walk outside. You could go for essentials, but only one at a time. But we weren't, there was no nominated one person. And we could go out sort of, I think, with the kids, one kid. So it wasn't like Manila. I remember thinking, wow, you guys are not allowed to go outside. You're not allowed to exercise. It felt really bad for you guys over there.
Right. But, we find ways. And I think like even the internet has really helped a lot. And people who live in villages, like I live in a village, so we were able to walk around and, appreciate nature a little bit. Yeah. So just for the benefit of my viewers here.
Sorry, I have to move because the sunlight is coming in. The sun sets really late here.
Yeah, what time? It's like 6 p.m. here.
Yeah, it sets around 7:15.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice.
7:15. So, but it's going down my face.
Oh, okay. So what have you been doing? Okay, so like we were saying in our Instagram post, F ended in 14 years ago.
14 years ago. I can't believe it. I was counting.
I remember. Yeah, because I was still pregnant with Lily then, and she's 14 now. And we sort of just all went our own ways, and you continued, and I did other things, and so did Angel. But what have you been doing since then?
When was that? When did officially end? Was that 2006? Or yeah, 2006. Since then, well, I met David. Well, I got together with David in 2007, and it was a whirlwind romance, and we were engaged within 2 months. Got married a year later, and I moved to Hong Kong. So yeah, I moved out of the Philippines pretty much at the end of 2007. So I haven't lived there since then. It's been quite a while. And yeah, I mean, in between having the 4 kids, since then, I've been doing Glamour Mamas, which is my motherhood parenting site and group, and just a lot of offshoot projects about motherhood, because I really am passionate about motherhood and sort of wellness and living green and that kind of thing. So that was where my interest really took me.
You fell into it naturally, it seems. Of course, when we ended F, we were in different stages of our lives. I remember meeting you in 2003, I think. That was when you started with F.
Yeah.
And I had just had my first child. So my mindset was different. I was a newlywed. I was a stressed out new mom. And you guys were single.
Yes, I was single and young and silly. And I mean, I just wrote thinking back on those days, I'm a bit embarrassed. I'm sorry, Daph. And I would look up to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like a sort of my life inspiration, Peg. But at that point, you're right. We were at 2 different points in our life. And I just was, watching your journey through motherhood and, admiring you, but at the same time, not being able to relate.
And then fast forward to you get married and you embrace motherhood, like amazing and so beautifully too, like in a holistic way. So I just watched and it's like, wow, Amanda, amazing.
I know, because my 20s were crazy. It was, it was a lot of traveling and, hosting around sort of Asia and modeling. So it's a lot of that. And, in your 20s, you kind of think you're invincible and you're, having a lot of fun.
Amazing time.
And, sort of health wasn't in my sort of consciousness at all at that point. And, I was smoking and all of that kind of stuff. And so I remember when I turned 30, that was a turning point for me. And it's also when I got together with David. And from then on, it was just sort of, this progressive journey that I'm still on. But yeah, that's when my life started really changing. And I think it's also because I moved out of the Philippines, and it set me on a different path. I wasn't in the industry really so much anymore. I had one foot in, but one foot was really out. I wasn't fully sort of in that industry and lifestyle. So it really made a difference.
What came first? Was it like vegetarianism, veganism, and then yoga, or did it all come together at the same time?
Vegetarianism came first, and then very closely after, when I got engaged, yoga, because I wanted to get in shape for my wedding. So it all started from there, and then and it's just expanded into more of a whole wellness lifestyle that I try to adopt for my whole family.
Mm-hmm. What are the benefits that you've seen in your mind and your body and your soul since you've embraced this holistic lifestyle?
Well, in terms of, I've become a lot calmer and, more patient, which you need when you're a mother. There's a lot going on. I don't know. I feel internally, like physically, I feel a lot better. I've really tried to clean up everything. I try to eat clean. It's, I always say this journey has taken me a long time. It's not like I woke up at 30 and all of a sudden I was, super healthy. And, I stopped drinking alcohol actually this year as well. And so it's taken a lot. It's been 13 years on this road. And I keep learning more and more, and and it leads me to other sort of facets of what I'm doing. So I just keep doing it because it feels good,
right?
It makes me feel better. I'm trying to always be a better version of myself, because I feel like I need to be for myself, my husband, and my children, and I'm always a work in progress. So I'm always trying to learn more.
So you ran a marathon. A full marathon is 42K.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How?
I know.
What led to that? How did you get that? I mean,
I know. I only started running after I gave birth to Kieran, which he's almost 11 now. Again, to lose weight. So, all these sort of firsts happened because I was not necessarily doing it for, sort of my mental health or whatever. It was like, I wanted to lose weight because I had just given birth. And I had never really run before. And I always thought, endurance running, no way, that's not for me. And then I started running to get in shape. And then I joined a 10K in 2010. And then I kept running because I fell in love with it, because it gives me peace. It's very meditative for me, especially on longer runs. And then when my dad passed away, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna try and, I needed a distraction to really throw myself into. And so I thought, I'm just gonna train for a half, and then I ended up doing a full marathon 2 years later.
Wow. And Paris, no less.
Yes. I thought, what if I only do one marathon? Let's do it in a really pretty place where I can look at the sights and enjoy myself. So
that's amazing. Did you do that on your own, or did you have a team?
No, I did it on my own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So is it all about setting goals and then achieving it and then going on to the next one for you?
Yes. Yeah. For me, that's the way that I really get motivated to do things. I have to really set a goal for whatever I'm trying to achieve in my life, and work towards it. I work better when I have that deadline, and I know, I can mentally sort of put my mind to it and say, okay, I've got X amount of months or a year or whatever it is to really work towards this goal and invest my time and commit, and then, see it through.
Right. That's great. So where are you at now? What's the next goal?
Oh my gosh. I was going to try and run another marathon, but this pandemic happened, and it's just thrown every sort of plan that I had out the window. It's what's the word now is pivot, right? I'm like trying to pivot everything and adjust to what's going on, because I don't see when our new abnormal, whatever you want to call it, when that's going to end, when it's going to get back a little more to the life we knew last year, who knows? So I'm not making any sort of long-term plans right now for that. I'm just trying to get by here.
I think that's a healthy way of approaching life right now. I mean, you were asking earlier, like, why I'm doing this. There is no plan. I just miss working and connecting with people, and the platforms are all here. We're kind of lucky, actually, that we have all these tools.
Yeah, imagine if we didn't have the internet or FaceTime to connect, Zoom to connect with people, Facebook to keep up with each other's lives, or Instagram, whatever you want to call it. I think we are very fortunate to have that avenue to really stay connected in some way. And in fact, I've been more connected to a lot of people that I wasn't through Zooms and whatever, because people are more proactive about trying to get together and connect with each other. So it's actually been a silver lining in that way. I'm like, oh, it's more quality time with people that I don't actually see.
That's so true. Yeah. Wow. If you allow us, like, could you tell us a little bit more about your children? You have 4 children, and I know that your eldest is the same age as my youngest.
Yes.
Stella and Kieran.
Kieran. Yeah.
So he's 11.
He's turning 11 in March. Yeah. I have 3 boys. Can you imagine? I know you can't imagine because you have 3 girls, but it's, I didn't know I was going to be such a boy mom. Luckily, I have 1 girl, Lila, who's, I love spending a lot of time with her. Boys are so different, but I mean, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with them, but it's chaotic. It's they're typical boys. They're always farting and picking their nose. I hate to be like stereotype, like gender stereotyping, but a lot of it is very true. Like, stop being so disgusting all the time, and they think it's hilarious. So
that's amazing. So you have Kieran, Kaylin, Lila, and Kyle.
Yes.
Did you imagine having 4 kids?
I did, actually. I was one of those people. I always wanted a big family. I think, my history. When I first met you, I was dating Bianca's brother, one of our friends. And when I was with him, he has such a huge extended family that I hadn't been exposed to before, because my dad, I only have 2 cousins on my dad's side, British. They don't really count second cousins and third cousins, right? It's very sort of insular and immediate. And then I didn't really see the cousins on my mom's side too much. So, and I have 1 brother and 1 sister, but my brother and my sister is quite a few years younger than us. So it was just me and my brother growing up. So I always loved that my ex-boyfriend had such a big family, and they always had so much fun and support and camaraderie. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I really would love to have that for my family.
Oh, wow. And now 4.
Yeah, my sister-in-law, Christine Jacob, she has 5 kids.
So you really have that big family now.
We do.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
That's amazing. So tell us about your workout routine. I know you jog. We've talked about that. What are the other things that you do?
Well, I'm really into hot yoga. So that's my passion. If I'm hot yoga, it's not just yoga. If I'm not on the mat, I don't feel like every day, or at least 5 to 6 times a week. I don't feel grounded or centered. It's just it's something that really helps me mentally and emotionally, and yeah, so I try and do that as often as I can.
Do you do that in a class or alone?
So here we do it in a class because it's a hot room. I can't get my room up to 45 degrees.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
what's the benefit of hot yoga compared to regular yoga?
Well, I mean, there's different schools of thought on it, but for me, it's detoxifying. It detoxifies sort of, not just my outsides because you're sweating so much, but also my mind, and I just feel so energized, and there's so many endorphins happening after that I don't get if I'm not. I mean, I do get it, but not as much if I'm not in a hot room.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I should try that someday.
Try it.
Yes. Okay. Now, how about nutrition? So you talked a little bit about your journey from into vegetarianism and now vegan. Are your children vegan?
They're vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm plant-based, but they're vegetarian.
Okay.
Only because, I feel like to raise sort of vegan children, I'm not a nutritionist, and I was really worried, like, would I be inadvertently missing out on nutrients that they needed? It's a worry because they're developmentally, it's very important to get all these things. And, I know a lot of plant-based people would say it's easy, but for me, I just wasn't confident enough. Yeah. So that's
right. But how is it like raising vegetarian children? Like, so they go to school, and if they see people eating burgers and things like that, do they know that they're vegetarian?
Yeah, they know.
They know.
They know. I've taught them from a very young age. They need to know what they're putting in their bodies, and I teach them about sort of health and healthy food and why we need it, and not so much junk food. Of course, they're kids. They want, they want the junk food and they want the yummy stuff, but they've never, because nowadays there are burgers, there are veggie burgers, there are veggie sausages, like veggie pizza. They don't feel like, oh, they're eating something I can't eat. It's just a different version for them. And they as of now, they don't want to eat animals. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, who knows? I'm sure one of them will probably transition to meat eating, but that's their decision at the end of the day when they get old enough.
And David is also a vegetarian.
No, so he only stopped eating meat 2 years ago.
Wow.
We've been together 13 years. I know. And, everyone's like, oh, well, it was because of you. And I said, hello, it took him 11 years, and that was all him. Because you can, I never tried to force him, because you can't make someone do something if they don't want to do it and they don't believe in it. So that was all his choice. He's a pescatarian, so he still eats fish. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, this light, is that?
Yeah, go ahead. Find your. No, I don't want it in your eye.
I'll be rotating.
It's fine. Are you okay? I can't believe the light is still up there. That's amazing, considering we're so near each other. Okay.
I know.
Wow. I'm just seeing all the comments here. In a little while, we'll be taking some questions. Or maybe we should do that now. Let's see.
Sure. I love this. It feels like old times, Daph.
I know.
We're transported to almost 2 decades ago.
Yeah, except that we would be out and having a lot of fun with each other, and now we're just staring at a screen. But let's see. Okay. Anyway, so watching from Kansas, Shirley Jameson. Hi,
Shirley.
All the way from Kansas. Hello, Amanda. This is from June Riggs.
Oh, hi, June.
Oh, you know him? Watching here in Singapore.
No, he said watching in Singapore. And I think I got an email from him, so I need to check.
Sorry, June. Familiar name, Mia Macapagal. I think we met her when we were in F. Yes. Okay. Missing the F girls. We get a lot of messages from F fans. Okay, there was an earlier question, but I can't dig it up now. It was about what would we tell our younger selves, I guess the F girls in us, about life. Like if we could go back like 14 years ago, what are the lessons? Yeah.
For me, I think it would be not to be so concerned about what other people think of you. I mean, I know it's sort of a cliched answer, but it's so true. And I think, you only realize this as you get older, with age, hopefully comes wisdom. But especially in our industry, I was always, so thin skinned, and it was difficult at times, to navigate that as a young person that, I was kind of thrust into TV hosting. It wasn't sort of something I wanted to do. I was modeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's so different.
It's so different, but they're like, oh, here, do that. I remember when they were also asking me to do shows on ABS-CBN, and I'm like, but I can't speak Tagalog and I can't act. And they said to me, it's okay, we'll teach you Tagalog. And I'm like, yeah, but I still can't act. So at that point, I mean, I don't know what it is like now, but they were just, there were a lot of offers there, and without sort of the prepping and training that would be nice when you're that young to go into this kind of industry.
I agree with you there. I think similar to you, I was also just thrust into that whole business because I didn't train for it. I didn't even have a manager, and I just went with it. But I also feel like if I could go back in time, I would tell myself to have fun a bit. I don't think I really... I had fun, but I worried about little things. I worried about the ratings. I worried about production stuff, and
I think I had too much fun. So, I mean, I don't know. Wow.
No, I learned a lot from F. So much so that in my next shows, like I produced my own show after that, I said, I'm going to just have fun and go with it and just really enjoy. And that was Urban Zone. And I really had fun. But the thing is, I have to say, though, that our camaraderie in the show like that made it a lot of fun. And the staff, the team, that part was really fun.
Yeah, it was always fun. And, you guys were like older sisters to me. I remember you were like my agony aunts. I mean, telling you all my problems. Oh my gosh, I won't get into that. But I just think back to it now. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry. But yeah, I do remember I did seek a lot of solace in you and Angel when, we would have our sort of, the tapings together. Yeah.
It was fun. We had the same with Cher as well. We were all like, there was a lot going on in our private lives. And it was really nice to have that friendship. Behind the camera, right? Like off cam. Yeah. And another thing that I remember also, we didn't work with a stylist. Remember that? We just showed up.
Looking back at some of the photos you were showing, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. No, I know. There, you know what? I look at the shows these days, and all these young girls' IGs, and they're so well put together. There's, everything is immaculate. And I'm like, I just had no idea. I was just following trends and throwing on whatever I wanted to.
I know. And there were times when we were doing our own makeup and our own hair. And I remember because we have the same texture of hair. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know it's not shiny. And then of course, Angel with her perfect shiny hair.
Shampoo hair, yeah. Yes.
That was a different time. That was so much fun. Oh,
yeah, I do miss it. I wish we could go back to that time with this wisdom.
Right. Okay, so let's take some more questions in. Oh wow, from Marco. I love you, Amanda.
Oh. Thanks, Marco.
Okay, missing F in Urban Zone. And from Cats, we have Before It Girl, there was F Girls. Oh yeah, so it's funny because when we started F, the genre of having a lifestyle show like that with three girls didn't really exist. So we were sort of
Well, you guys pioneered it. I was
We,
lucky to take over from Cher when she left.
oh, we were lucky to find you, and we loved having you, of course. Oh, this is an interesting question. How would, from Ziad Christian, how would you feel about F Reboot? And who would you recommend as hosts that somehow represents you? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think F was a brilliant show. I mean, I think there's a gap right now. I'm not really up on what is showing, what kind of shows are showing in the Philippines, but I think that it's timeless. It's sort of it transcends any kind of sort of era, if you will.
Right.
So yeah, I think an F reboot would be amazing. As for the host, I don't know because I'm not I don't
Right.
know sort of the girls that are hosting.
Oh, I can
Right.
hear the babies.
Sorry.
I love it. Is it dinner time?
Yes, they just got back from their swimming lesson and they're
Oh,
about
how nice.
yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, we have here hashtag Amanda Maganda
Thanks,
from
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo and from JB Alegre, watching from Sweden. Wow.
Hi. I love how we're all over the world.
I know. And from Susan Agoncillo, what's a typical day for Miss Amanda?
So a typical day now, I really miss, I used to travel back to Manila every 3 weeks from Singapore. Yeah, I was, and I really felt like I didn't miss the Philippines because I felt like I was living there half the time. I have a place there. And so with this whole pandemic, I so miss the Philippines. I miss seeing my friends and family and just being there, and our beaches. Oh my gosh, I miss our beaches. So right now, a typical day for me is, with the 4 kids, I wake up at 5:30. That's when I have my alone time and I catch up on some work and emails, and then I get the kids up at 6:30. And then we're doing their breakfast, and that's always sort of a war zone because the kids can't concentrate on eating or they're fighting or whatever it is, and then they're on the bus at 7:45. If I'm lucky to get a spot in my yoga studio, I will go to yoga. And it depends. I'll either try and have lunch with friends, or I'll come back and see my husband because he's working from home.
Wow.
Which is actually a treat for me because this is the longest we've ever spent together in our lives consecutively. Because he was always traveling and I was always traveling. Yeah.
I know. But are there any, what have you learned about each other or about your relationship now that you see each other 24/7?
It's only strengthened the way that I feel about him and see him as a person. I mean, he's really a great guy. I couldn't ask for a better partner, and he's so supportive. And to be honest, I had a hard time during the lockdown. It was not mentally, I was not dealing with it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the opposite. I think a lot of people take this time in a different way. For him, he saw it as a welcome respite from his insanely packed traveling schedule and stress of work. And it was actually a good time for him to slow down and decompress. Whereas for me, my outlet was traveling to the Philippines and doing my work there, and like having my work life, which I would always go back for. And then, and now I can't see my family in Australia. So I had a bit of a rough time adjusting, but he's such a great support system. So yeah, we didn't have a fight, we locked down. And I know a lot of my friends and on Glamour Mamas, they're always talking about, sort of having enough of each other, or they're fighting a lot, but we haven't yet, knock on wood.
Oh, that's so nice. I have to agree also. It's been amazing to have my husband also with us because he also works hard all the time, but he doesn't travel as much as David does. But one funny thing that emerged from this lockdown was because we have this system in the Philippines where only one person can go out of the house and you have a pass. So he was the guy. He had to do the groceries. And let me tell you, that deserves a whole episode. He started coming home with chips.
Yes.
We don't buy that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I hear you. I don't let David do the groceries ever. Like, no, what are you going to come home with?
Oh, that's so funny. But so speaking of relationships and the husband, and I know that in your community in Glamour Mama, you talk openly about these things. What any advice for couples on how to be as romantic as you and David, or just the whole, how do you make your relationship grow after how many years now?
13.
13.
Yeah, 13 years. I don't want to sort of paint this picture that we're, always loved up and romantic, because we're not. It's really difficult with 4 kids. It's really difficult. The romance side is especially now with the pandemic happening, we don't get sort of that time where we can go away together or, go out. We weren't going out a lot. So now it's gotten better. We can go out to restaurants and make those date nights happen. And we're going to do a staycation
that's so nice.
for my birthday. And yeah, so it takes a lot of effort. You have to make a conscious effort about it, because, you can just forget about it. And I've been guilty of prioritizing my kids over my husband many times because they're louder than him. They demand more, they're all wanting a piece of me all the time. So
right.
It is, yeah, I really do have to make a concerted effort to remember, okay, this is, I've got my husband, and we need to put some time into the relationship.
I think so, because also as women, I think it's so natural for us to be mothers, to be nurturers. Yeah. And then for men, it's so natural for them to be a spouse, a partner. And that's what they look for. They want a partner. So if we don't meet what they need and they don't meet what we need, then trouble can start. But it's just I think it's like communication, I suppose, knowing what each other's needs are and at this time.
Communication is key. It's key. And it's sometimes it's difficult, right? And sometimes you feel too tired. Like, I can't bother right now. I'll just tackle that some other time. And some other time becomes a week or 2 weeks, or, I mean, it gets to be sort of a cycle if you don't try.
Right. And you
fast.
Right. With everything that you do, all your roles as a wife, mother, entrepreneur, you seem to continue to keep growing as a woman. I mean, you have time for yourself. Is that deliberate? You make time for yourself?
Absolutely. Yes. If I'm naturally an introvert. I think you know this about me. So, and it's funny that I have so many children, because I do need my alone time. I need to be able to unwind and decompress by myself. And I don't get that a lot. So, I make certain that exercise, I'm lucky, is a good outlet for me, because it's my me time and I'm getting exercise. So I can combine that in sort of 1 hour and not take too much time out of my day. But no, for me, it's absolutely essential that I have at least 1 hour to be on my yoga mat or go for a run or be in my room where no one is coming in, otherwise, I do feel off kilter, and it affects my mood or my patience. And, there's always a lot going on in my house. It's always really loud.
Right.
The volume is never down. Someone's screaming all the time. So it is important for me. It is a very deliberate move that I schedule in every day.
That's
and
nice.
I think women should do that, because we are a lot of the time last on our priority list. And when that happens, you aren't being the best version of yourself for anyone. And that's where it goes downhill fast, So if you feel guilty for taking that time for yourself, you have to look at the sort of the weighing scale. Is it, is it better if I take that time, or is it better if I don't, but I'm, my energy is low, or my patience is not there, or, so, weigh it up. And it's not bad to give yourself some time and take care of yourself. We should, as mothers and women.
Right.
Don't feel guilty about it.
Exactly. Okay, we have a very nice comment here from Crispy Mar. Girls now need wisdom from women with wisdom, or women from X. That's so nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
I hope we have, well, you have wisdom. I'm trying.
No. This is why I like talking to people like you, because then I learn from you. And I think also from our little communities online, I think it's nice that we learn from each other. Is that what Glamour Mama is all about? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I started. It's funny, when I got pregnant with Kieran, I basically only knew. Well, I mean, this is a very sort of broad statement, but I only knew maybe you, Bianca, Araneta, Georgia Schultz, and Lexi Schultz. That was pretty much the extent of my motherhood circle. It was very small. And I'm always trying to sort of learn more and I'm a big proponent of research and being prepared. And so I remember asking, a lot of them, tell me, what do I need? What can I expect? And I was peppering everyone with questions, and Bianca writes me back this 2-page email. It was like so thorough of like, I think I'd asked her, what should I get? And it was just, she loved it. She was like, so full of information and how-tos about motherhood. And I thought, this is great. Like I wish I had access to more women that are mothers that I could, ask and get a more sort of diverse, set of experiences. And, so we set about, I created Glamour Mamas in 2011. And then I always wanted to do sort of a forum in some capacity. And that came about in 2014 with the Glamour Mamas discussion group on Facebook. And since then, we've grown it to 40,000 mothers. They're 98% of them are moms that we sort of vet and make sure that it's a very safe space for women to share and support each other and ask questions. And
what are the main themes and the learnings that you've shared there about modern motherhood? Like, what's a common issue?
Oh my God, it's everything. Anything you can think of about motherhood, from from pregnancy to what to expect when you take the baby home, birthing, breastfeeding, sort of the toddler years and beyond. And it's such an interactive, engaged community. So you will always find someone who's probably gone through a similar thing than you, or they'll tell you their experiences and give advice. And I just find it such a brilliant sort of resource. And I wish I had had that when I was a first-time mom. But even as a fourth-time mom, I still learn something new when I go on there. No one knows everything, no matter how seasoned a mom you are, right? Yeah.
So it's so funny when you said that you had a very small circle of mom friends. I also had a very small circle of mom friends, and my mom wasn't even here. She lives in Canada. I have no in-laws. So I remember when I had my first child, she came like 3 weeks early, and we didn't finish our Lamaze class, and I didn't know how to do a diaper. I didn't know how to swaddle her. I just learned everything. So a lot of it was instinctive.
Yes, a lot of trial and error from our time. So, with those kind of things, the moms now just post it in our group, and they'll get like so much feedback on how to do so many ways to do it, and this and that, cloth diaper, and that. I mean, it's just, I find it really, I'm really proud of our community. And
you've done so well there. It's amazing. And so you've written a book. You've produced a show. You run that multimedia project. What do you want to do next? Where do you want to go?
Well, I really want to continue growing Glamour Mamas, and I wanted to bring it into other countries, and have sort of it be within Asia first. And I mean, that was always my goal, but it is such a sort of mammoth, gargantuan project because, as I said, we nurture the community. We're very we monitor posts and make sure that it's relevant, and no salespeople are trying to get in there, no trolls, so it's a lot of work. And what I've realized being in different countries, the Filipinos, they're all different. Like if I was to put it up here in Singapore, the Singaporean mother is very different as well. I don't know if they would be as open as Filipino mothers. I don't know what kind of community it would be, but it would be very different from my sort of Filipino Glamour Mamas community, which would be exciting, but it would be I'd have to learn new kind of ways to adapt to this different sort of audience.
Yeah, wow. I think the possibilities are endless. You're really onto something there. And it's amazing that you have a huge community with amazing support. Now, let me read some comments here. We have from Jang Nicolas. F fan here. Really good to see you both again, Daphne and Amanda. Forever beautiful, ageless, and smart ladies. Watching from Abu Dhabi. I love that. I love hearing from everyone.
I know. I love that they're all, watching from all over the world.
Yeah. John Michael Bueno. Ang saya makita sila after all these years. Still so chic and effortless. Okay,
Thanks,
wait. John. Just for the interest of our viewers, so you mentioned that you can't speak Tagalog, and you are half Filipino.
Yes.
But you grew up internationally.
I grew up in England and the States, and my mom's from Cebu. So, so Tagalog was never on the cards, but she never spoke Bisaya to us. In the house, it was always English. And, to this day, I'm like, Mom, it was, what a waste. I really wish that I could speak Bisaya and Tagalog, I remember when I was, I went to high school in Manila, and I tried to speak Tagalog, and they just would laugh at my accent. So, as a really shy introvert, I stopped because I was so self-conscious, and that was the end of it. I mean, I can understand, but I cannot speak.
Right.
So I always tell my yayas, and please, I want my kids to be able to speak Tagalog, but if I find that if the parents are not speaking it and they don't have it at school, there's no sort of support or foundation. It's really difficult, because even though my helpers speak Tagalog to the kids, Kieran does not. There's almost sort of a reticence to try and do it. I guess because we're not in the Philippines.
Right.
He doesn't have that many Filipino friends. I mean, it's a different. They're in British school, so. I told them, I said, listen, we have one more opportunity with Kyle. He's 2, and he's saying wala na and all this. We got to have one that speaks, fluent Tagalog.
I think we're like that with Stella, the youngest. Because we learned also the hard way with our first 2, so she's a little bit more bilingual. Okay, we've got a message here from Therese. I love how Glamour Mamas became a space for mothers to vent out. It makes you realize that your issues are normal, and other mothers experience it as well.
Oh, thanks, Therese. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly, that's one of the big reasons that I sort of really wanted a platform like Glamour Mamas. I didn't want moms to feel alone, which I did feel a lot when I was a first-time mom.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Second guessing, insecurities, and as I said, without having such a big sort of friend group, and there was no WhatsApp back then. It was like all these things that the communication wasn't quite like it was now in 2010. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm glad that Glamour Mamas is helping women out there.
And from Irene Quilino, you can't pour from an empty cup. So many mothers feel guilty to take time for themselves. Happy, you're saying it's okay. F was a show many of us followed because you were real. You were very real, very diverse, but with a solid friendship with one another. Yeah. You know, a lot of that stuff in F was unscripted.
Yes.
only the bumpers in the beginning and the
bumpers,
end were scripted. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I remember, I was always the one eating for some reason. I think Angel was a pescatarian at that point, so I got stuck doing her food segments all the time.
I know, and I was so bad at it. I was not a good food reviewer, so I was like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Can you imagine that? Now I'm like, feed me.
I remember being scared to sort of say, oh, I don't like this. Because I think a lot of them would sponsor our food or something. Like, how honest can I be? You know?
I know. Okay, from let's see, from Shen Kala, or from being chic to being a mom, still learning from you guys. Love the reunion. Yasmin Eusebio Barreto, I love F. Yay. So nice. Do you still get a lot of F viewers?
I do. Yes, I do. And it's so funny because now they're like, oh, my mom I watched you with my mom. You know, my mom was a big fan. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know. Over the years, like now that's what's happening. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad your mom loved it.
But it's so nice that we were able to really touch a generation of Filipino viewers, or viewers in the Philippines, that up to now, they still remember us. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this comment. It's so funny. Joe Gamentera. I love F. I remember I would rather watch F than go on a date.
I remember because F was on so late on Saturday nights, right? It was Saturday at like 11 o'clock or something.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Those were the days. Well, anyway, so we're about to reach an hour. If anyone else has any more questions, feel free to. Oh, wow.
That went by so fast.
So fast. I know. I think you have a super fan here, Marco. Oh. I love Amanda since she was a VJ on Channel V.
Oh, hi, Marco. Thank you. So you've been watching me. That was a long time ago. It's the same time as F. I was doing Channel V. At the same time as F, remember I'd fly to Malaysia.
Yeah. I remember like you'd fly in and then go straight to taping. Crazy schedule.
It was crazy. You know, looking back now, I'm like, gosh, I should have really like relished that more. And
that's what I meant. That's what I meant about having
really fun. Like be like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I am so like lucky to have sort of these opportunities. You know what they say, youth is wasted on the young. So hindsight is always 20/20, right? But
sometimes you get a second chance. Like, I remember having realized that early on after F. I'm like, I think I really have to relish every moment that I have in production on TV, because it's really a special gift. I mean, nowadays everybody can self-publish on YouTube and be a star. But back then, wow.
Yeah, it was really a special time. And, now they don't have these sort of iconic TV shows, lifestyle TV shows, as we were saying, because people don't have that attention span anymore. It's sort of, they want sort of bite-sized, like little 5-minute videos, vlogs, this, that on social media. So we were lucky to really sort of be at the pinnacle of that time and be the longest running lifestyle show in the Philippines.
That was amazing. I really, really treasure the time that we had, and that we could still stay in touch up to now. And I know that, do you still have your column in the newspaper? I
do. Yeah, it comes out once a month in Manila Bulletin.
Okay. And where else can we read you and see you?
Well, on my blog, but I'm not so active right now because I've got my hands full and I need inspiration. But AmandaGriffin-Jacob.com. But I need to sort of maybe dedicate more time to that now. And Glamour Mamas, of course. If there are any women who want, mommies to be, or mothers out there that are watching, join our Glamour Mamas community. We'd love to have you.
That's here in Facebook.
Yes, on Facebook.
Okay, on Facebook. I'll post some links down below, and this is going to stay on. I know this is live right now, but it's going to stay on in Facebook, in the Daphne Facebook page, and in my YouTube channel. It's so funny. I have a YouTube channel that I didn't even really. It's just there.
I have one too, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know.
I know. Me too. I'm like, I used to just I store videos in there privately. So, but now let's just put their interviews in these conversations. So yeah, well, Amanda, thank you so much. It's been.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And, hopefully one day you can do a sort of reunion with the four of us.
I hope
you
so.
can get the timing right with
right.
Cher in LA. But thank you so much. This has been so much fun and so nostalgic. And I've missed talking to you. It's been a long time. So
yeah, you too. And I am continuing to learn from you, from all your very inspiring stories in your website and in your posts. And I'm so happy to see your happy life. And I wish you all the best.
That means a lot coming from my life peg. So thank you so much, Daphne, for having me.
Thank you again, Amanda. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Amanda. Wow, guys, we just had Amanda Griffin. Amanda, you could still hear me, but you're not on screen. So thank you so much. Have a good dinner with the kids. And David. Hi to David. Bye. Okay. So Amanda's gone, but we're still on live. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this very nice conversation with Amanda Griffin-Jacob. I will be posting her links down below where you could follow her in her Instagram and her Glamour Mama. So let me read again some of the comments that you said you posted here. Still watching from Singapore, from Shill. Oh, no. From Rick Gayon. Bitin. Bitin ba yun? 1 hour na yun, ah. Okay. Romarico Batak. Please vlog. Okay. I always say, like, what is... Okay. Yeah. From Shirley Ann Jamieson, this is so great. Wish all the F girls will be present next time you have a live here in Facebook. That was the original plan. I wanted all four of us together, but could you just imagine this screen with all four of us talking at the same time? That's crazy. So let me first have conversations with each F girl, and then we'll do all four of us. Cher is in California. She's in LA. Angel is here in Metro Manila, and Amanda's in Singapore, and I'm in Metro Manila. So that would be an amazing time, I think, if we could pull that off. From Maru Gara, came in late, sayang. I'd say F was so classy, iconic. No more shows like that nowadays. But I'm glad that we're on and we could still keep in touch with each other online. Yasmin, I was late. Another session, please. I hope so, but you can watch this. It's going to stay on a page as well, so you could just watch the whole video. From Andromar Malforte, got inspired by F at a very young age, and I think there's a lot. Thank you guys for all your comments and for staying and watching this. Daphne Live. I don't even know what to call this, but yeah, for now it's Daphne Live. So again, feel free to let me know your comments and suggestions for future people that we could have conversations with here in our Facebook page. On that note, I'm actually getting really hungry because I eat dinner at 6 and now it is 7 p.m. So I'm going to go have my dinner. I hope that you are all well in your homes. Let me know how things are in your part of the world. Let me know what you would like to talk about here or read about in in the Daphne site, and we'll go through it together. So again, thank you, everyone. Stay well, stay healthy, stay faithful, and take care. All right, bye.